The thing that is most misunderstood about sports radio is its function. It's not that you're supposed to look. There are shifts, there are day parts where if you want to get into the minutia, if you want to talk about cycling and what they do on special teams and all the other things that go into it, all the details that go into being an NHL team, there are shifts for that. There are hours of that. That's not what a morning show does. That's what a morning show isn't supposed to. I'm supposed to call someone or bring the coach on who will explain those moves. I bring the general manager on. I can bring on one of the players. This is what hosting a morning show does. I'm hard pressed to think that going to work for a job that you hate, for a boss who sucks, for you getting yelled at every day and maybe not getting the money that's worth it to you. Maybe you have a hard day where you're outside every day. Hey, there's a lot of people in Western Canada that listen to that show that weren't just from Calgary. They were also from Saskatchewan. When these guys would be out working the fields and so on. They wanted to get some laughs in with a little bit of the sports. So what you want to do is be an entertaining guy, and hopefully you have the chops to actually do that. And then on the other side, you call someone who can explain all those things better than I can, better than any probably morning guy can, because there's a reason why they're a morning guy, because they were probably, for the most part, in broadcast and maybe not a great athlete. Look, my background is weird. It's different. I played at a very high level of sports, but I also started doing stand-up when I was in grade 12. Freak and weird. I was a goalie and a drummer. All the weird stuff that goes into this brain where I hear the voices. I'm sitting there looking at a football game. All of a sudden, I hear Peyton Manning going, what he should have done. What he should have done was you got to pull that back. You got to make them read into when you're going to play action pass. You don't just run with it, dummy. That's not RPO. This is what goes on in his head. This is what I have going on. Bob Cole,
I get it.
All kinds of stuff is going on there.
I don't even think it's weird.
Get ready for the Rod Pedersen Show.
We're brawling this team, and the guy yells over the glass, "Go back to the NHL, Preston, you loser." Can't even say it with a straight face.
It was a good beak when we'd roll into a bigger center. They'd say, "Go back to Wynyard. Go back to the NFL where I was making more money and doing better." I'd like to. Thank you very much.
Where I was flying on the charter with the double wide leather seats and the filet mignon.
Yeah, working on it.
This is the Rod Pedersen Show.
Yes, it is. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the RP Show for a second year broadcasting live from Super Bowl, this time Super Bowl 58 in beautiful Las Vegas, Nevada for the very first time ever. Broadcasting live from Radio Row. We're at the Mandalay Bay Convention Center, and this is the place to be. The first of 2 days of live coverage here on Game Plus Television, WQEE Radio, and, of course, the streams. And Moose is in Toronto. Let's bring him in. Moose, I wish you were here. You'd be having a great time. And it's one of those things where we go out and introduce ourselves to a new crowd, and these wonderful guys around me, they're like, your show is, okay, what's your deal? You live in Florida, but you're on television in Canada and on the radio in Atlanta. Anything else? And I'm like, no, I think that's got it. I think that's got it. And oh, yeah, and you're in Toronto. So I hope you're ready to have some fun today and talk sports. And you're here in spirit, Moose. I know that.
Oh, that's good. That's good, because wish I was there with you. And I know I won't make the same mistake again, not being down there next time.
Well, you can't be everywhere. So, hey, the guests today, Moose is going to be with us here for segment one. And like the internet connection here, it's a little spotty. Here's who I believe is going to be joining us today. My good friend Randy Grimes, 10-year veteran center of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, will be here. I ran into him here yesterday. We're brothers in recovery, promoting Sober Bowl, talking Super Bowl. Randy Grimes will be with us in hour one. Who comes up sauntering out of nowhere a couple of hours ago this morning, but Jeff Reinbold, the defensive line coach for the University of Hawaii Rainbow Warriors. Our good friend Jeff Reinbold. He only joins us every Monday. He's here live, and he's going to give you a break in hour 2. He's going to come on right off the top. And then our friends from USA Football, Scott Hallenbeck, the CEO of USA Football. It's the football version of Hockey Canada minus the scandals. Scott Hallenbeck's going to be with us, and players from their national teams, Bruce Mapp and Joe Overstreet. So those are some of the guests today, just to give a bit of a roadmap. And let's go. Director Jordan, can you hit the quick six show horn, please? We'll fire it up. Every day we open with the big story of our quick six show topics. And by the way, I have no preconceived notions we're going to get through all of our topics. For me, Darren, the number one big story is Super Bowl 58. And can I just ask you this, from you watching from Canada, what does it look like? And also our social media from the Rod Pedersen Show, Twitter, Facebook, all the rest. What does it look like is going on here in Sin City right now?
It looks so much bigger than anything that I can wrap my mind around, because here's what I'm seeing on my feeds, okay? I'm seeing what you post. I'm seeing, just, the run-ins with Dominic Foxworth and catching up with him. And I'm seeing other guys. I'm seeing what the Moj is posting with, Dan Orlovsky. And I'm seeing all that stuff from Radio Row. Then I'm seeing the strip all decorated. But what I'm seeing now that I don't remember seeing in these other Super Bowls is I'm seeing the Vegas aspect. So I saw videos of a craps table or a blackjack table that had Taylor Lewan and Will Compton from the Bussin' with the Boys show, and they were at a table with Jason Kelsey, Bert Kreischer, the comedian, and these other people, all getting together in different circles, all having a great time. Things that I don't know that you see just in everyday walk of life. The casino Vegas aspect seems big.
Yeah, well, there's been very little talk of the game, and it's funny that you brought up Jason Kelsey, because he was just walking by here 20 minutes ago with an entourage around him. And this is the one thing, while I am hockey first, and that's my sport, I'm still grateful for my 20 years spent in the Canadian Football League. Not only the friendships that I made, but I learned what these guys are like. It doesn't matter if it's the CFL or the NFL. They all come from the same place. Jason Kelsey is a big, brutish, offensive lineman who is more intelligent than anybody else, has a beard. He's no different than all the ones that I've known with the Rough Riders and all that time. You know what I mean? And the DBs and the receivers are flash and dash and all that, but they come from the U.S. schools. And so to walk up to Dominic Foxworth, who was right here the other day, Jake. Actually, no, it was with a radio station from Baltimore. I know a lot of people don't know who he is, but he's one of the analysts on ESPN. And I said, Dominic, if I can please get a photo, you are by far my favorite analyst on ESPN. And he broke out laughing. Just because this is like all the guys that he's like an Omar Morgan. He's like an Omar Evans. You know what I mean? He's no different. So we sat and we had a little bit of a chat. Now, you talk about the Vegas, and then the other thing is, I don't know that I'll ever get used to this, but here at Radio Row, for those that don't know, because believe it or not, there are a few people that don't follow every single move we make. 2 years ago, we were at Super Bowl in Los Angeles doing a show from the Westin Airport Hotel, which was fantastic. But everybody said that we had to get down to Radio Row because that's where it shakes. Well, that's where we are. And just this morning, guy goes walking by with a white hair and a beard. I kind of looked, I'm like, that kind of looks like Dunnigan from behind. You know, Matty? Whoa. That's Kurt Warner. And I stopped and I took a photo, and there's just so many. Emmett Smith was here this morning, yesterday Shannon Sharp, and I don't know, should I get over that? I don't feel like I want to even get over that. You know what I mean? I don't know if I should.
If it makes you feel good, and it does, it would make me feel good seeing those guys and getting the opportunities to build the relationships and say hi and all the rest. That's cool. That's why we got into this business, is because we love it. The love of it and the admiration for the stars and all the rest. Don't lose that. I think that's a great part of it.
Yeah, it's a lot of what's gone on. But I'll just say this, because people I met Jim Barker's daughter. It's on my Instagram story, my own personal, at Rod Pedersen official. Jim Barker, 5 Grey Cup champion, who housed here in Las Vegas, hooked me up with his daughter, Holly. We spent some time together last night at the Bellagio, but it's not as crazy as people say. You might have to wait in line 3-4 people deep to get a drink or get whatever you want. It's not insane. But I want to say this before we do move on to the other topics. About the game, I had a driver last night, and he's beside himself wanting to know who to put money on. because he sees the 49ers are favored by 2, and they still are, 2.5 at some sports books. And he's like, I don't understand why. And I said, I don't get it either, bro. I don't. 4 of the last 5 Super Bowls have each featured the Kansas City Chiefs. Patrick Mahomes, Andy Reid, Travis Kelce, the whole. I don't get why the 49ers are favored, and yet I do think those guys know what they're doing. But I said, if you want to make some change, I said, how much are you talking about betting? He's like, I don't know, $300-400. So I would put it down on the Chiefs, but don't come back at me if it fails, because you're making the bet. So I guess that's my point to you. What are you doing? What's your thoughts on Sunday's game with the 49ers favored by 2? Deal or no deal, Darren?
Yeah, I know. I think I'm still at no deal. I just can't bring myself to bet against Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid. I just can't. So I just don't think I will. And that has nothing to do with numbers. I'm not backing that up with stats. It's just the universe has told me time and time again, you just don't bet against these guys.
No, we are broadcasting live from Super Bowl 50. One more point on that before we dip our toes into a little hockey here, because this is an NHL town, don't forget. And the Golden Knights are over here going, remember us? Where our poll question today is for Key Auto Group. Every day, the Key Auto Group is driven by safety, experience, peace of our comprehensive multi-point inspections. Visit keyautogroup.ca for automotive excellence. It's a fun little prop bet. We do it every year at Super Bowl time. And today's will have more passing yards in Super Bowl 58. And the quarterbacks are, of course, Patrick Mahomes and Brock Purdy. Only about 100 yards, believe it or not, separated the two in the regular season. Who will have more passing yards? Last I looked, 70% of respondents saying Patrick Mahomes will have more passing yards in Super Bowl 58. And to be honest, I'm going with that. I'll go with Mahomes, number 15 for KC. Moose, who are you voting for in our prop bet today for Key Auto Group?
I'm actually going to go with Brock Purdy. I know Christian McCaffrey will get a lot done on the ground, but I think Kansas City has a really good bend, don't break defense. I think the 49ers will have some drives. And also, if they get down in the second half, which has been their MO in these playoffs, the 49ers have had to come from behind. I think they'll be chewing up passing yards. So I think for that reason, Brock Purdy will have more.
I'm going to dip my toe in this. The Toronto Maple Leafs found their scoring touch again on Tuesday night. Wednesday night, I guess. Mitch Marner and William Nylander scored 20 seconds apart midway through the third period. Austin Matthews had his NHL leading 41st goal, and the Toronto Maple Leafs beat the Dallas Stars 5-4. Leafs captain John Tavares had a goal and 2 assists. So I guess they had a 3-game winning streak, snapped. They lost the other night to the Islanders, but they're back, and they beat a good team from Dallas last night. So I would assume the parade's back on in Toronto today. Am I right?
Well, they're pretty excited, except we're now hearing that it's a win, but none of the secondary scoring is coming through. And it's just like, you won the game. In a game that was up and down. You know, you took the lead, then it was tied, then you were down and back and forth. I thought it was a fun, entertaining game between two really good playoff teams. And that's what you want. You want to have back and forth. When you get punched in the face, you want to be able to answer back. And I thought both teams did that at times last night. It was fun. The Stars were scoring. What else do you want?
I enjoyed watching it last night. I went for supper last night with the great Bill Lawley, a horseman, a farmer from Rollo. And while I was waiting for him in the lobby of the Golden Nugget, we're going to my favorite steakhouse, Vic and Anthony's. I was watching that game, and it looked like a very entertaining hockey game. And listen, I understand the criticism. I really do. Those Leaf fans saying this is going to cost us in the playoffs. It probably will, but you're not in the playoffs yet. So I guess if you want to be upset at wins, go ahead. I just wouldn't advise it, because you'll have a very lonely, upset life. So back to the NFL, I want your take on this. And by the way, with CFL free agency and whatever they're calling it, we'll get into that a bit next hour with Jeff Reinbold. But as some people said to me this morning, why would the CFL do this during Super Bowl week? Last week, there was literally nothing going on. Why are you doing it now? But I digress. Aaron Rodgers hasn't been able to share his opinions on the Pat McAfee show, which incidentally is going on about 100, not even, about 50 yards from me. when his weekly appearances ended for the season, but he's still finding himself on the air. The New York Jets quarterback was on the Joe Rogan Experience podcast. It dropped on Wednesday, and here's a quote from Aaron Rodgers. Look, at my situation, I lost friends, allies in the media, millions of dollars in sponsorship because I talked about what worked for me and my own beliefs and my own health reasons why I didn't get vaccinated. Aaron Rodgers told Joe Rogan. To be honest, I was in a Uber last night talking with a driver about how COVID affected this city, how it affected her, how it affected me. I'm like, I don't even want to talk about it. It was so ugly. And here's Aaron. I'm really starting to not like Aaron Rodgers, and I've never met him. It's just based on what he says. Number one, if you lost friends over your COVID stance, then they're not really your friends. So move on and stop whining about it. And number two, he's making himself a victim. You made your decision, stick by it. If it was worth the millions of dollars in sponsorship, you could have got vaccinated. You didn't want to. Why are you still talking about this? I'm really, really tired of Aaron Rodgers and turning, because, again, those are choices you made. Stop, as my mom would say, quit your fuss-assing. Deal or no deal, Moose.
That's a new one, and I like it. And every time I hear something new from your mom, I like her more and more and more. But anyways.
She was the best.
Yeah, I think with Aaron, it's just, you're right. You made the decision. And if you lost the friends, they're not your friends to begin with. If that's what you believe, understand you're going to lose some people and be good with it and move on. But it's the whining about it is what's getting a little bit old. If he just doesn't whine about it, I think he's fine. When he's talking and he's just in the football mode, Aaron, you're an easy guy to like. But when you get into this stuff, it becomes really difficult. So it's tough because I know the people that know him love him.
Yes. Well, it's like, have you not learned, Aaron? I don't talk about it anymore because I was losing followers. I wasn't losing friends because I've got really good friends. We don't agree on everything, whether it's COVID or what way to take to get to the restaurant. We don't agree on everything, but we don't get mad at each other. Those aren't your friends. Aaron, I'm just enough. By the way, I'm going to tell everybody, I appreciate those watching on YouTube, but I am not going to be reading any comments today and probably not tomorrow either off the YouTube feed. You can still reach us here in the studio at Super Bowl 58 via the text line 902-518-3033. It's brought to you by Sober Carpenter Non-Alcoholic Beers. 902-518-3033 is the number. Now, pardon me, I'm just looking around. I don't see Randy Grimes, and he casts quite his shadow. He's a big 10-season starting center for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, so you get it. He's supposed to be joining me in the next segment, but I don't see him yet, Moose, so you might have to stick around, okay? Which you've agreed to do. I appreciate
I'll be here.
You
just give me the sign, and I'm out of the bullpen at any time.
Rash is texting me. I don't expect that he would know that we're on the air 9 a.m. to 11 Pacific all the time. I don't know if he's in the vicinity. You see how it's not a problem. I'm not complaining. But you get out of your comfort zone, i.e., I wasn't watching ESPN Sports Center. I wasn't reading TSN.ca. It's go, 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 go. You know, you're spending time with your friends. You're walking this strip. You don't have your nose in your phone the whole time. 18 million people messaging, wanting to know how it is. I'm like, I might get back to you after supper, but I'm busy. That's what it is at Super Bowl 58. Now, we do have to take a break. We'll see who's with us next. My guess is it's going to be Moose. So if you want to join the conversation, text in now, 902-518-3033. We'll be right back. It's the RP Show live from Super Bowl 58 on the Game Plus Television Network, WQEE Radio, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and YouTube Live.
The sports landscape continues to change, and teams and facilities are under more pressure to provide online and in-venue entertainment. They need the right team to deliver their product. Look no further than IKS Live. We provide service across North America and produce the best fan experience across all platforms.
We're all capable of doing more. More speed, more reps, more commitment to getting every detail perfect. And that's why it's important we never miss a donation appointment. Blood and plasma donors are needed every day in Canada to support thousands of patients that rely on Canada's lifeline. We're asking you to join the Hockey Gives Blood Partners for Life team. Join today by downloading the Give Blood app or book online at blood.ca/HGB.
Everything I've worked for, everything I've sacrificed, has led to this. It's out of your hands now. All the gold medals in the world can't help you now. You could throw the perfect rock and still miss, but it just takes one. You leave it all out there on the ice to leave behind a legacy.
Did you know that you can help save a life? And you can start right now.
Stem cells from male donors increase chances of positive outcomes for patients, yet they only make up 40% of our registry.
Today, there are hundreds of people in Canada searching for their life-saving match.
You can be a patient's best hope. Be a hero by registering with Canadian Blood Services Stem Cell Registry now.
Does this look familiar? Your fans deserve an incredible arena experience. It's time for an upgrade. Stunning graphics. Revenue opportunities are just the beginning with our in-venue display systems and scoring technology. Let us help you find the best solution for your facility. EDG, always delivering the best fan experience.
Text 902-518-3033. 902-518-3033. Pick up your phone and text RP, that's Rod Pedersen. Text 902-518-3033.
Here's how your business can be a part of Canada's fastest growing sports talk show. All you have to do is contact us, and we will tell you all about the dynamic and exciting marketing opportunities we have, utilizing a fully integrated 360-degree multi-platform. Imagine your business seen and heard across Canada on Game Plus TV and around the world on the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. You will use one of the most overused expressions in sports. You gotta be kidding me. Get your business involved. Contact the Rod Pedersen Show today.
It is a 3:30 p.m. Pacific, 6:30 Eastern kickoff in Super Bowl 58 on Sunday, which I'm going to read some sports updates on that in a moment. We'll be back here live tomorrow, and I don't know why I would even plan anything. Right now, I don't have anything planned for a few reasons. I mean, I thought Jeff Reinbold was going to be with us live here in hour 2. We were going to talk about these CFL free agent signings, and then he not here. So maybe we'll get into that tomorrow morning with Coach Reinbold, or maybe not. I don't know. Randy is watching in Winnipeg, Manitoba, and says, great show, Rod and RP crew. Does Canada have a national flag football team? Well, we all have what we're interested in, and I'm very interested in this. And people are going to get a lot more interested in it when the Olympics come closer. But no, Canada does not have a national team. And I would say this. There's a better chance of CFL players representing Canada in the Olympics than there are NFL players representing America in the Olympics. And I'll tell you why. The CFL players have more time. We don't have an existing national team, we as in Canada. The door's wide open. And the head of Football Canada, Jim Mullen, who was with us in Charlotte this summer at the National Championships, is advocating for the CFL to put players in it. Now, let's not forget there's Canadians playing in the NFL too. But I think it would be hard to get a Javon Holland of the Miami Dolphins, or would Nathan Rourke, well, I guess he would Nathan Rourke of the Patriots be our quarterback? I think we'd be looking more Brandon Bridge. You know what I mean. There's no existing Canadian national team, and CFL players have more time and make a fraction of the money. For all those reasons, i.e., the risk of getting hurt isn't that big of a deal. Now, what I didn't say was Scott Hallenbeck. We talked about it off the air. There was only one injury. There was hundreds of kids playing in that flag championship that weekend. We broadcast 8 games a day, and there was only one injury. Can you believe that? And it was a muscle pull. That could have happened in practice or the gym. So it's not dangerous. I'm just fascinated and tickled about whether the NFL is going to allow its players to play. This is not done yet. Bob in Saskatoon writes in and he says, I know football today, but the Raptors are blowing up whatever is left of a team this year. Good, because they suck. And you know where that's coming from, Messiah Ujiri. It's coming right from the top. That's why they are who they are. Overtime's brought to you by our friends at Overtime Hockey Lanes in Calgary, as you all know, where skill and fun collide. Take your team down there for a skills competition. They can do it. Hockey's version of baseball's batting cages and golf's driving ranges. Overtime Hockey Lanes, 28th Street Northeast. We're big partners with them. It's interesting, by the way, speaking of hockey, I'll play Bet Regal breakaway bets right now. Clark, pay attention. You're going to play with me. Our NHL games. Okay, I just want to say this. I went for supper last night with my good friend Bill Lawley. I want to see a cattleman from Rollo, but he doesn't have any cattle. He's got horses and a lot of land. They came down here to watch the Oilers beat the Golden Knights Tuesday and make history. One problem. People forgot to tell the Golden Knights that. And Vegas won 3-1. No. Hey, Bill's having a great time. Bill's having a great time here. But that's if people want to know how big a deal hockey is in Canada. Bill buys a ticket to the game, plane ticket and hotel to come down and watch the Oilers tie the NHL record for win streak. And a funny thing happened on the way to that. Vegas is playing tonight. Let's go in reverse chronological order. We always start with the East, but let's start with the West here, Clark. The Vegas Golden Knights are at Arizona. We're playing Bet Regal breakaway bets. Who wins this one? Vegas at Arizona tonight. You're going to go Vegas? I'm going to, yeah. They're good. They have worked out the kinks. They're that team now, I think. Colorado at Carolina. Isn't that a country song? Heads Carolina, tails Colorado. California. Carolina at home. Well, I I want to agree with you, but I won't. Just for the sake of fun. I'll take Colorado, but I think you're right. Tampa Bay Lightning at the New York Islanders, and the Lightning are without Sergachev after the injury last night at the Rangers. Tampa Bay at the New York Islanders. Who do you like to win? Yeah. I like the way you think. Here's the game of the night. The Vancouver Canucks at the Boston Bruins. Top two teams in the NHL. Who wins, Clark? Canucks or Bruins? I got to agree with you again on that. Speaking of Calgary, the Flames, Vancouver and Boston were both taking the Bruins. Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. I just realized that people can't hear Clark. He's taking Boston over Vancouver. He's taking the Islanders over Tampa. Calgary at the New Jersey Devils. Who you got to win in that one? Clark has taken the Calgary Flames because he says they're healthier. I think it's their fourth straight win they're after. It was too big of an emotional win for them in Boston the other night. I'll take New Jersey to win tonight, but Clark is on the side, good side of the Flames fans tonight. The Winnipeg Jets at the Philadelphia Flyers. Who's winning, Clark? Monroe? He's taken Flyers at home. I'm going to take the Winnipeg Jets after their rough outing in Pittsburgh the other night. And the Washington Capitals at the Florida Panthers. Panthers are another team that I think has worked out their kinks. Who you got? He's taking the Florida Panthers. I'll take the Florida Panthers. Their home 2-1 loss notwithstanding against the Philadelphia Flyers the other night. Well, that's it. So, again, I'm not going to book any guests. We're just going to let it roll and see how it goes for Football Friday tomorrow. Maybe we just do what we've been doing right here because people seem to be highly entertained with that. And I'm sure you're all enjoying watching what's going on behind me. It's been an honor to be on the radio in Atlanta today, WQEE, and, of course, on television, Game Plus. Big thank you to our guests. Randy Grimes, 10 years starting center of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and a brother of mine in recovery, a sober consultant out of Houston. Scott Hallenbeck, the CEO of USA Football. And from their national teams, Bruce Mapp from the men's team and Joe Overstreet from the women's team. I was looking forward to those interviews for a long time, and they did not disappoint. We'll see you tomorrow, noon Eastern, live from Super Bowl here on Game Plus and Key Radio.
Who has more fun than us?